Welcome to this presentation on business analysis using Enterprise Architect and the Sparx modeling platform. You will learn about some of the tools and facilities available to analysts and managers to create and manage all types of business analysis artifacts, from strategy to implementation, add rigor to your projects, and link analysis elements to up process elements such as goals and objectives and down process elements like implementation components and test cases. You develop and review the models collaboratively. You can share them with customers and a range of other disciplines from project managers to implementation engineers, testers, support analysts, and more. In this presentation we will cover the following topics: gain skills with business analysis techniques, express ideas with diagrams and visualizations, achieve flexibility with standards and languages, work together with collaboration and teams, communicate and integrate with model exchange. Gain skills with business analysis techniques. In this topic you will see Enterprise Architect in action with a full suite of business modeling techniques. By the end of the topic you will have seen benefits, including: learn a range of business analysis techniques, get productivity gains for the entire team, understand best practice modeling techniques, learn how techniques can be used together, and more. Record focus group questions and answers in a mind map in physical or virtual workshops, allowing stakeholders to visualize their ideas and concerns in a business-friendly diagram. Follow up the focus group or workshop, analyze the results and connect the derived requirements, needs, and concerns to the statements recorded in the mind map. As the specification and solution evolve, trace from any design or implementation element, via the requirements, back to the original stakeholder statements, ensuring that what you implement will delight your stakeholders. Translate your strategy into goals and objectives with expressive balanced scorecard diagrams. Communicate the business strategy to all stakeholders and levels in your organization. Create the diagrams yourself or generate them from a model wizard pattern, and add organization-specific details for each perspective, including descriptions. Use hyperlinks to drill down to goals, objectives, requirements, user stories, use cases, and other initiative-level artifacts, ensuring you can trace from projects back to strategy. Perform a SWOT analysis and represent the results diagrammatically, identifying strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats clearly and concisely. Create diagrams for different contexts or divisions of a business or technical environment, and use colors and styles, and layout options to make the SWOT diagrams more appealing. Add rich metadata to the elements that will help analyze weaknesses and minimize threats, and provide drill downs to how you will achieve this in practice. Analyze your competitors in the marketplace and catalog the aspects of their products and services that threaten your organization's success. Record benchmarking results and market analysis, including surveys and other research tools. Create user-defined properties such as threat level, customer segment, market uniqueness, and other metadata to categorize your observations and analysis. Use matrices to show how your offerings compare to your competitors, and share your results with colleagues and management using WebEA and Prolaborate in a browser. Discover requirements sourced from documents stored inside or outside the repository. Bridge the gap between these text-based sources of project information, and the requirements derived from them. As your project evolves and implementation work begins, you can trace any part of the model back to the source of the requirements, by using tools such as the matrix and traceability window. Create and view requirements and other analysis elements as documents, and gain productivity by working in this familiar business tool. You can immediately toggle from this view to spreadsheet, list, diagram, or Gantt chart views. Switch any package or diagram to the specification view and work as you would in your favorite word processor. Set display options including level numbering, note visibility, and create new and delete existing requirements directly from the specification manager. Create and view requirements and other elements in a spreadsheet-like view, with properties such as status and priority listed in columns. If you are accustomed to working with spreadsheets, this will be a welcomed view that allows you to sort and rearrange columns and edit both system and user-defined properties, from drop-down lists. enjoy the productivity that comes from working in this familiar business paradigm, and switch to other views such as list, diagram, and Gantt chart views when needed. Create and view expressive wireframe models of smartphones, tablets, and personal computers, including Apple and Android devices. Create user interface controls like lists, radio buttons, tabs, and more. Use whiteboard, hand-drawn, or custom mode to make the diagrams appealing to a broader audience. Visualize how the interface supports requirements, resolves constraints, and mitigates risks by connecting individual controls to both specification and implementation elements. Put meaning at your fingertips with the powerful glossary tools that ensure teams are on the same page and have the same mental model of terms and definitions. Readers will see the meaning of industry, project, or team terms as rollovers in diagram, element or connector notes and other model-based project documentation. Create categories of terms based on disciplines, semantic fields, source, and more. Turn any project element into a glossary term by adding it to a glossary diagram. You can also include the glossary items and their meanings in a corporate publication or web page. Make workshops and stakeholder elicitation meetings more engaging using games. Gamification has become a productive technique in business and information technology. Create collaborative games that make the process of understanding stakeholder needs and concerns more interesting. Use Enterprise Architect's document artifact to describe the games, including their purpose, timings, required materials, rules, and table the results. You can later analyze the outcomes and convert them to elements such as needs, concerns, and requirements. Manage non-functional requirements and ensure your analysis teams don't overlook these critical system attributes during system specification, design and implementation. Trace them to other elements, including use cases, user stories, and functional requirements, to make sure you understand their context. Give the requirements a unique number on creation using auto-numbering, and add them to Kanban diagrams to track their implementation progress. Express ideas with diagrams and visualizations. In this topic, you will learn how to create expressive and compelling diagrams and dashboards that will bring your repositories to life. By the end of the topic, you will have seen benefits, including visualize knowledge and analysis in new ways. Create clear and unambiguous visualizations. Relate drivers, goals, user stories, and requirements. Bring your stakeholders on the journey. And more. Visualize strategic applications and other critical elements such as capabilities and business and technology services, and gain powerful and revealing insights into their strategic importance, complexity, and cost. These expressive diagrams will appeal to business and technical stakeholders who need to manage application portfolios, ensure they provide a return on investment and demonstrate demonstrable value to the business. Create epics and user stories to record the user's goals and expectations, and then add rich metadata like constraints, tags, and project information such as tasks and tests, as you analyze and implement the story. Alternatively, use the Pro Cloud Server integration to pull in epics, stories, and issues from tools like Jira, and link the items to rich modeled content including database tables, application components, and information models. Follow the flow of your business processes using the business process model and notation, from the events that initiate the process to the ways that it can complete. Create as-is, or current state processes, and to-be, or future state processes. Include processes, activities, and tasks, and organize them in the browser into a process hierarchy, making it easier for teams to manage. Use pools and lanes to indicate who performs or is responsible for the activity. You can run simple simulations or use the BPSim simulation engine to visualize the processes in action, and perform analysis, including what-if and Monte Carlo analysis. Add images to diagrams to create expressive narratives and compelling representations that will engage business and technical stakeholders, who are typically unfamiliar with the modeling languages. Use a built-in library of handy images or create your own at a team, project, organization, or industry level. Use scalable vector or raster images and include them in web pages or reports and publications generated from the model. Never lose track of element connectivity with the traceability window, and view a graph of model connections from a context or reference element. Set options to restrict which relationships to display, and locate related elements in the browser or diagrams, and instantly view their properties. Use this view in conjunction with other windows, like matrices, and model views to gain a comprehensive understanding of how requirements relate to both business and technology elements, ensuring there is no scope creep or unintended gaps in your design. Drill down through multiple dimensions with sunburst charts that allow you to quickly invert dimensions, such as programs, projects, and strategic, tactical, and obsolete application groups. Unlock the wealth of information in the repository, and serve it to corporate stakeholders and executives in compelling and interactive charts. You can change report settings such as colors and styles to align with your organization's conventions. Keep your diagrams simple with hand-drawn mode, and engage stakeholders to continue contributing to a model's evolution. Toggle between highly resolved diagrams and this sketched mode that gives the appearance you scribbled the details on the back of a serviette. Apply other tools such as filters, layers, and diagram labels and legends to add meaning and appeal. Keep track of requirements and other business analysis elements with identifiers and numbers that are automatically applied when you create a new element. Set your own starting number and specify prefixes and suffixes for the numbering system. The numbers will be helpful to readily identify elements such as needs and user stories, in stakeholder workshops, team meetings, and conversations. Display the number in diagrams, documents, reports, and most of the tool windows, including the browser, properties, and search windows. Achieve flexibility with standards and languages. In this topic, you will see how Enterprise Architect supports modeling using guides like the Babok, and languages like BPMN, UML, DMN, CMMN and Archimate. By the end of the topic, you will have seen benefits, including: create standards-based models and diagrams. Ensure your models are following best practices. Extend standards with flexible meta-models. Link elements between standards to express new ideas. And more. Be guided by the business analysis body of knowledge and its encapsulated insights, integrated inside Enterprise Architect. Use a full suite of pattern modeling solutions that implement the Babok techniques, allowing you to concentrate on your business problems and their analysis. Use this companion to the Babok to ensure you are not only following best practice, but enshrining it in your models, and delivering your stakeholders clear and concise representations of the business. Know the correct business analysis technique to use with any task or knowledge area by viewing clear diagrams that show the task itself, the suggested techniques, inputs and outputs, the elements, guidelines and tools, and affected stakeholders. Get off to a flying start, and create industry best practice models by using the Model Pattern Wizard to inject fully worked technique models into your repository, and view the accompanying documentation to learn how to apply the pattern, what tools to use, and see the next steps. Simplify business process diagrams with decisions defined in the decision model and notation language. Remove the gateways from the process diagrams by creating a decision requirements diagram that describes the inputs and decision logic, conditions, and outputs. Replace the gateways with a business rule task element that acts as a placeholder for the decision logic. Apply user-defined data sets and perform what-if analysis and visualize how the decisions are applied with a sophisticated simulation engine. Add your own meta-model and metadata to your architectural descriptions to create organization-specific elements that extend the standard languages such as Archimate and the Unified Modeling Language. Use Enterprise Architect's world-class profile and technology system to go beyond a simple meta-model, and add report templates, toolboxes, diagrams, predefined and structured properties with user interface controls such as drop-downs, spin controls, calendars, color pickers, and many more. Express meaning and create compelling diagrams using images from a user-defined or system image library. Import vector or raster-based images from various sources, and then include them in your diagrams to create appeal for stakeholders. Discover where images have been used in your diagrams by selecting the usage option, and update these images globally from the library window. Drive your business with clear decisions defined using the decision model and notation language using decision tables, boxed content, literal expressions, and invocations. Create a decision requirements diagram that subject matter experts, business managers, and other stakeholders will understand. Define the inputs and outputs of decisions and run simulations with example data. Use the decision table to specify the rules based on the input and chain any number of decisions or encapsulate them in business knowledge models. Generate programming code directly from the models to initiate development and ensure code and business decision definitions are synchronized. Perform what-if analysis with decision simulations that bring decision model and notation diagrams to life. Link these diagrams to activity, use case, and other SysML diagrams to define and understand the important decisions that are part of the problem or solution space. Specify any number of your own data sets and run simulations to see the resulting decisions, and visualize the steps in the decision-making process with annotations that indicate why a choice was made. Design flexible processes using the powerful case management model and notation language. Some processes in domains like medicine, law, and finance don't follow a prescribed pattern and can't easily be modeled with traditional process languages like BPMN. Enterprise Architect fully supports the case management model and notation language, allowing you to model highly variable processes and unpredictable business methods such as managing a legal case or a patient's journey in a hospital from admission to discharge. Express your organization's policies by defining business rules that express their application and how they manifest at a business operation level. Use Enterprise Architect's powerful tracing ability, and show how business rules relate to policies using tools like diagramming, matrices, traceability, and reports. Work together with collaboration and teams. In this topic, you will learn how to collaborate with team members anywhere in the world using chat, discussions, reviews, and core features such as security. By the end of the topic, you will have seen benefits, including work with colleagues anywhere in the world, chat and discuss projects, models, and ideas, review each other's work and give real-time feedback, rest easy as security and integrations protect your models, and more. Collaborate with customers, colleagues, and consultants, and build systems in record time using the collaboration and team features. Enterprise Architect is built from the ground up as a collaboration platform for sharing ideas, and working and modeling together. Collaborate with your team and stakeholders no matter where they are located, and chat, discuss, comment, review, and share specifications, designs, solutions, and implementations, all in real time. Change your project role at the drop of a hat, by selecting a perspective, and watch Enterprise Architect set your focus on the chosen discipline by hiding other tool options. Choosing a perspective will increase your productivity as you concentrate on modeling using the tools and options available for your selected role. Create tailored perspectives by including selected technologies relevant to your modeling intent, or create perspectives for teams and groups, ensuring the entire team stays focused. Ensure you start, and stay on track with reviews, getting feedback from customers, consultants, and colleagues. You can conduct the reviews in the desktop tool, or if your models are served by the Pro Cloud server, you can review them in a web browser using WebEA. Take your modeling to the next level and ensure you evaluate your models for quality, compliance, risk mitigation, consistency, and more. Model an organization's who's who and display the roles or business units in a diagram using a tree layout or a list view. Add system or user-defined properties to the elements or connectors to add additional information as required. Use the elements that make up the organizational chart in other parts of your repository, including assigning business owners to business processes, business rules, systems, and more. Show the different people who occupy the roles over time, using instances of the classes. Understand your project and enterprise stakeholders by creating expressive maps of the significant stakeholders and their relations. When you clearly define the relationships between stakeholders, you can more easily resolve stakeholder conflicts and ensure better overall outcomes for the entire group of stakeholders. Any project staff can use the maps, reusing them across multiple initiatives. Replace the elements with icons to represent the type of stakeholder, or use avatars or photos for each stakeholder. Discover what's changed in your model using the powerful comparison feature of the baseline utility. Create any number of baselines for any model package, and then as your model evolves, compare it to one or more baselines of the same package. Revert each change or an entire package to the content in the baseline, and set options to suppress changes such as diagram and date changes. Use the feature for requirements, user stories, use cases, or any other package of model elements and diagrams. Achieve success by understanding your stakeholders and delighting them with value-based products and services. Document and visualize stakeholder characteristics, attributes, and concerns, and use these to provide a context for private interviews, workshops, and meetings, and to assist in resolving stakeholder conflicts. Manage requirements, user stories, issues, test cases, and more with agile Kanban diagrams and deliver value to customers in record time. Use Kanban for any aspect of a project, including strategic planning, sales and marketing, and human skills management, and information technology solution delivery. Define your own boards and lanes and use system or user-defined properties to drive the lane allocations. Create and triage backlogs, set work in progress limits, view resource allocation, display element properties, and effortlessly drag and drop items between lanes and boards. Create traces to other modeled elements such as drivers, goals, and solution artifacts. Get off to a flying start by automatically injecting elements and diagrams into your repository using the Model Wizard patterns. Browse the extensive pattern library, which contains all the standard Babok techniques, and peruse the documentation that accompanies each pattern, to understand the benefit it will bring, and how best to work with the pattern. Switch perspectives and gain access to hundreds of other helpful analysis, strategic, requirements, information, user experience, and model publishing patterns. Understand connectivity and gaps in your models by using matrices to visualize the relationship between source and target elements or features. Locate scope creep, gaps, and unimplemented requirements by viewing the colored matrix bands. Visualize any elements connections, including drivers, goals, user stories, use cases, test cases, risks, and more. Include the matrix in web pages and publications as an alternative view for non-technical stakeholders, or export it to a spreadsheet or save it for future reference. Set acceptance criteria that capture the minimum set of requirements needed to ensure the solution is acceptable to stakeholders. Specify the acceptance criteria at any level, including against user stories, use cases, and application components, and other elements. Detail the requirements with notes that explain the intent and add system and user-defined properties such as stability and urgency that will help implementation teams understand the criteria. Communicate, publish, integrate and exchange models. In this topic, you will see how to create corporate publications and exchange content with other tools like Excel and SharePoint. By the end of the topic, you will have seen benefits, including view models in real time through a web browser, publish high-quality corporate documents, integrate with more than 30 other tools SharePoint, Jira, exchange data with spreadsheets and documents, and more. Generate high-quality corporate documents directly from the model. Use a range of document generation techniques with flexible system or user-defined templates, filters, and presentation options. Completely customize your publications to comply with industry, corporate, or customer standards, including styles and logos. Add static and dynamic content, and auto-regenerate the document when the model changes. Generate publications in formats such as docx, HTML, PDF, and more. Exchange requirements, user stories, risks, and other elements with spreadsheets, by using the CSV Exchange utility. Save time and effort by importing existing definitions from spreadsheets, including inbuilt properties such as type, status, and priority, or user-defined properties such as business owner or criticality. Create and reuse your specifications for both import and export of modeling information. Integrate your enterprise architect models with other platforms, including SharePoint, Jira, ServiceNow, Team Foundation Server, and many more. Set up the integrations with the Pro Cloud Server and then push and pull information to and from the external tools. Collaborate in real time with users of other platforms that support discussions and comments, and share diagrams through a browser using WebEA or Prolaborate. Bring teams together and visualize a wide range of enterprise data from multiple platforms in a single pane of glass. Model business information in easy-to-understand models that describe the entities themselves, their attributes, and relationships to other entities. Model information at any level showing how it is consumed and produced as input and output to activities in business process diagrams. Show how information is conveyed as part of a payload on an interface between two application components. Transform the diagram into platform-specific models, including database schemas, XML schemas, programming code, and more. Visualize capabilities and other elements in a matrix, and immediately identify the critical criteria such as business and customer value, risk, and more. Create your own criteria and set appropriate values to display in the matrix. You can use the context menu to find the selected elements in the browser, and the diagrams where they appear. Save the matrix definition or export the information to a spreadsheet. Bring models to life with simple simulations, or use the BP-Sim extension to create sophisticated simulations, allowing for what-if analysis, measuring throughputs, doing Monte Carlo analysis, and much more. Use the model to verify and validate your predictions before the project design and implementation phases. Manipulate triggers, events, resources, and wait times to understand how they could impact your business process. Eliminate bottlenecks and identify critical success factors, including improving resource allocation and event timing. In this presentation we have covered the following topics. Gain skills with business analysis techniques. Express ideas with diagrams and visualizations. Achieve flexibility with standards and languages. Work together with collaboration and teams. Communicate and integrate with model exchange.